The secret to speaking with another soul isn't in your words, but in your silence. It isn't a strategy, it is a grace. And I promise you, if you stay with me through this journey, the understanding you will find at the very end is not about them. It is the key to unlocking the truth of you. Inner kingdom. You ask how to talk to a woman, to any woman, anywhere. My dear, you are asking the wrong question. You are starting the journey in the middle of the road, looking at a destination without ever having considered the state of your own vessel. Before you can ever hope to build a bridge to another sovereign soul, you must first be the undisputed king of your own. You must build your own kingdom within, a place of such strength, such beauty, and such profound peace that the rest of the world, including any person you might wish to meet, becomes a visitor to your grace, not the source of it. Do you understand? So many walk through this life with their hands out, begging for a crumb of validation, a glance of approval, a word that makes them feel they are worthy. They are paupers in their own spirit, seeking a crown from another's hand. And a true queen, a woman of substance and spirit, can feel that spiritual poverty from a mile away. It is an energy of lack, a vibration of neediness. It repels the very thing it desperately seeks. Your work is not out there in the world of her. Your work is in here in the world of you. It is the quiet, thankless, and magnificent work of building your own house. You must lay every brick of self-respect with your own two hands. You must plaster the walls with dignity. You must furnish the rooms with your own thoughts, your own passions, your own laughter, and your own tears. You must learn to sit in the quiet of your own company and find it not just tolerable, but exquisite. Your inner world must become a cathedral, a place so holy and so complete that your happiness does not depend on who walks in the door. When you have built this inner kingdom, your posture changes. The frantic energy of the hunt, the desperate need for a particular outcome, it all just melts away. It is replaced by a centered calm, a quiet confidence that is not arrogant, but is rooted in a deep, unshakable knowing of your own value. You are not a half looking for another half to make you whole. You are a universe, whole and entire, seeking to share its light with another. This is not a quick fix. This is not a 5-step plan to success. This is the sacred work of a lifetime. It is learning to love the sound of your own footsteps on the floor. It is finding music that speaks to your soul and allowing it to fill you. It is reading and learning and growing not to impress, but to expand the very territory of your heart and mind. When you are full, you do not need to take. When you are full, you can only give. Your presence becomes a gift. Your smile becomes a blessing. Your conversation, when it comes, is not a performance designed to win a prize. It is an offering, a simple and beautiful sharing of the abundance that you have cultivated within. And I will tell you a secret. That is the most attractive force in the entire universe. A person who is at home in themselves. They carry their home with them. They are a shelter, not a storm. So before you worry about the words to say to her, first, go inside, be still, and build your kingdom. Tend to your own garden until it is so lush and so vibrant that others cannot help but be drawn to its fragrance. And in that kingdom, you must be honest. You must face the parts of you that you have hidden away in the dark, the fears, the insecurities, the old wounds. You must bring them into the light, not to banish them, but to understand them, to integrate them, to thank them for the lessons they have taught you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of it. And self-worth is not the absence of insecurity. It is the knowledge that you are worthy even with your imperfections. A woman of depth is not looking for a perfect man. She is looking for a real one. A man who has wrestled with his own demons and carries the scars of his own battles with a quiet dignity. A man who is not afraid of the shadows because he has learned to be a light unto himself. This process of self-excavation and self-reclamation is the foundation. Without it, everything else is a house of cards. Any line you learn, any tactic you employ will be a flimsy mask over a hollow core. So, the first step in learning to talk to any woman, anywhere, is to first learn to listen to yourself, to honor yourself, to build yourself into a man who doesn't need a woman's approval to feel like a man. And then, and only then, are you ready to truly see her light, Now that you have begun the work of building your own inner home, you are ready to look out the window, but you must learn how to see. Our eyes, you see, are easily fooled. They are drawn to the surface of things, the sheen of hair, the curve of a smile, the style of a dress. And that is all fine and good, a part of the beautiful tapestry of human attraction. But it is only the cover of the book, and too many people spend their entire lives judging, chasing, and collecting book covers without ever once reading a single word of the magnificent story inside. To connect with a woman, a true human being of depth and spirit, you must learn to see past the cover. You must learn to see her light. Every single person who walks this earth carries within them a light, a spark of the divine, a unique, unrepeatable, and infinitely precious soul that has been navigating this complex journey of life. That light is their story. It is composed of every joy they have ever felt, every tear they have shed in the dead of night, every fear they have overcome, every dream they still hold in the secret corners of their heart. It is their resilience. It is their grace. It is their spirit. When you look at a woman, can you see that? Can you quiet the chattering in your own mind, the part that is assessing and judging and planning, and simply bear witness to the phenomenal reality of the person standing before you? Can you see the courage it took for her to be there in that moment, in that place? You have no idea what battles she fought that morning just to get out of bed. You do not know the private grief she carries or the silent triumphs she is celebrating in her soul. To approach her is to approach a sacred mystery, and if you approach with anything less than reverence, you have already failed. This is not about putting her on a pedestal. That is just another way of not seeing the real person. Pedestals are for statues, not for living, breathing, complex human beings. It is about recognizing her humanity as equal to your own. It is about offering a silent respect for the journey that has brought her to this exact point in space and time to cross paths with you. This way of seeing changes everything. It changes your energy. You are no longer a hunter approaching his prey. You are a traveler who has encountered another traveler on the road, and your first instinct is not to conquer or capture, but to acknowledge, to honor. A simple, genuine smile that reaches your eyes is no longer a tactic. It is a recognition of shared humanity. It says, I see you. I see the light in you. I honor the journey you are on. There is no need for a clever opening line because your very presence has already spoken a more profound truth. She will feel it. A woman's intuition is a powerful, ancient thing. She can feel the difference between a man who is looking at her body and a man who is bearing witness to her soul. She can feel the difference between a man who wants to get something from her and a man who simply wants to share a moment of genuine connection. One is a transaction, the other is a sacrament. So practice this. As you go about your day, look at the people you encounter. The woman at the coffee shop, the librarian, the executive in the elevator. Look at them and for a moment try to see their light. Imagine the intricate tapestry of their life. Imagine their struggles and their joys. Do this not with pity, but with a profound sense of wonder at the resilience of the human spirit. You will find your own heart begins to soften and expand. A sense of compassion will begin to bloom within you. You will start to see the phenomenal woman, not just in the one who catches your eye, but in every woman. You will see her strength, her grace, her fire. And when you finally do approach the one who makes your heart beat a little faster, you will do so not as a stranger trying to impress another stranger, but as one beautiful light acknowledging another. And that, my dear, is an introduction that no one ever forgets. It is an opening that needs no words. So, you have built your kingdom. You have learned to see her light. Now, and only now, are we ready to speak of words. But the language I speak of is not about clever phrases or witty comebacks. That is the language of the court jester, trying to entertain his way into the queen's favor. The language we must learn is a sacred language. It is the language of the heart, spoken through the instrument of your voice, your presence, and your attention. The most powerful, most seductive, most profound word in this language is not a word at all. It is listening. My, how we have forgotten how to listen. We are so busy preparing our response, thinking of the next clever thing to say, that we do not truly hear what the other person is offering us. We hear their words, but we miss their music. the little hesitation in their voice that reveals a vulnerability, the way their eyes light up when they speak of something they love, the subtle shift in their posture that tells you more than their sentences ever could. To listen, truly listen, is the greatest compliment you can pay another human being. It is to say, what you have to say matters. You matter. For this moment, my world is quiet, and I am here, fully with you. When you give someone the gift of your undivided attention, you are giving them a piece of your life. It is an act of profound generosity. So when you do speak with a woman, let your first impulse be to create a space for her to speak. Ask a question, an open question, not, "Do you come here often?" which is a closed door, a cliche, but something that invites her story into the space between you. That is a beautiful book you are reading. What is it about it that speaks to you? Or, "I couldn't help but notice the way you were looking at that painting. What do you see in it?" You are not asking for information. You are inviting her to share a piece of her inner world. And then you must do the sacred work of listening to the answer, all of it, without interrupting. When it is your turn to speak, your words should be an extension of the grace you have cultivated. Speak from your truth. Do not embellish, do not perform. If you are nervous, you can say, "I must admit I was a little nervous to come say hello, but I felt I had to." Honesty is disarming. It is authentic. It creates connection far more effectively than any feigned confidence ever could. Your voice itself is an instrument. Speak from your chest, not from your throat. Let your words have a certain weight, a certain calm. Do not rush them. The space between your words is as important as the words themselves. It gives them room to land. It shows that you are comfortable in the silence, that you are not desperate to fill every single moment with noise. This demonstrates the inner peace you have built in your own kingdom. And what do you talk about? You talk about things that are real. Share a small piece of your own passion, not to brag, but to offer a glimpse into your own kingdom. You know, this park always makes me think of my grandmother. She had a garden just like this. You have just shared something personal, something vulnerable, something real. You have offered a piece of your story. This is how you build a bridge, stone by stone. It is not about flattery. Flattery is cheap. It is a currency of the insecure. Instead of saying, "You have beautiful eyes," which is about her appearance, you can say more powerfully after she has shared something, "There is such a kindness in the way you see the world." One is an observation of the surface. The other is an acknowledgement of her spirit. One she has heard 1,000 times. The other she may have never heard before, and she will never forget it. Speak a sacred language, the language of genuine interest, of deep listening, of honest sharing, and of spiritual acknowledgement. It is a language that every soul, in its deepest parts, is yearning to hear. Courageous heart. We have come to the final and perhaps most important room in this house we are building. All of this, the inner kingdom, the seeing of light, the sacred language, it all requires one essential ingredient. Without it, the most profound wisdom is nothing but dust. That ingredient, my dear, is courage, the courage of the heart. It is a tender courage, not a brutish one. It is the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to be present, the courage to step out from behind your walls and risk connection with no guarantee of the outcome. Fear is the great jailer of the human spirit, and the fear of rejection is one of its strongest guards. It is the fear that whispers in your ear, "Don't do it. She might say no. She might laugh at you. You will be embarrassed. You will be diminished." And so you stand by the wall at the dance of life, watching others move on the floor, your heart aching with the music you are too afraid to dance to. You must understand that rejection is an illusion. It is. Someone's no is not a judgment on your worth. It is not a verdict on the kingdom you have built. It is simply a statement of their own reality in that moment. Perhaps their heart is closed. Perhaps they are grieving. Perhaps they are in a hurry. Perhaps their path is simply not meant to cross with yours in that way. Their no is about them. It is their story. It has nothing, absolutely nothing, to do with your intrinsic value. When you understand this truly and deeply in your bones, the fear loses its power. It may still be there, a little tremble in the hands, a little flutter in the chest, but it no longer controls you. You can feel it, acknowledge it, and act anyway. That is the definition of a courageous heart. You act not for a specific result, but for the sake of acting with honor and authenticity. The victory is not in getting her phone number. The victory is not in securing a date. The true victory is in the moment you decide to honor that spark of connection you felt and you walk across the room. The victory is in the offering of a genuine smile. The victory is in speaking your small, honest truth. The victory is in being a man who is brave enough to live with an open heart in a world that often encourages us to shut down. In that moment, you have already won. You have chosen connection over fear. You have chosen life over stagnation. And no matter what happens next, you walk away more of a man than you were before because you have exercised the muscle of your courage. And like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Each time you act with a courageous heart, it becomes a little bit easier the next time. You build a history of your own bravery. So when you feel that impulse, that pull to connect with another human soul, see it as a sacred invitation from life itself, an invitation to be brave, an invitation to be real. Breathe deep into your center, into that kingdom you have so carefully built. Remind yourself that you are whole and complete, regardless of what happens in the next 5 minutes. Stand tall, not in arrogance, but in the quiet dignity of a man who respects himself. And then walk forward. Offer your light, speak your sacred language, and have the courage to accept whatever comes with grace. Whether it is a shared laugh, a new friendship, a lifelong love, or a simple, polite, no, thank you. You receive it all with the same peaceful equanimity because you know that your worth was never on the table. Your worth is the table itself. This is how you talk to any woman, anytime, anywhere. You do it with a courageous heart. So you see, the great secret of how to talk to a woman was never about the woman at all. It was always about you. It was about the journey back to your own soul, when you learn to build your own kingdom, to see with eyes of compassion, to speak the language of the heart, and to act with a courageous spirit. You will not need a script. Your very presence will be the poem. You will find that you do not just know how to talk to any woman, you know how to connect with any human being. You will see the divine spark in every face you meet, and your life will become a testament to the beauty of connection itself. I clicked on this thinking I'd get a few pickup lines. I'm leaving it feeling like my soul just got a 40-minute long hug from the universe. I've spent so much time trying to be interesting that I forgot to be real. The idea that the real work is building my inner kingdom first, that just shattered me in the best way possible. Thank you. I have some building to do.